I'm Hazel and I'm the Sustainability Policy Officer for Monmouthshire County Council. We've got really challenging targets to be net zero carbon council by 2030, and a big chunk of our carbon footprint as a council is transport related, and a chunk of that is around individuals using their own cars to travel for work. So if we can look at ways of reducing that by introducing electric vehicles and hybrid vehicles for people to use, then that will go a good way towards reducing our carbon footprint and meeting those targets. My data action story was, if we knew who the high mileage users are and where they live, then we could put in place measures to help reduce those carbon emissions from our grey fleet mileage. And it's quite a simple tool really, but actually was really helpful for breaking it down and kind of getting to the nub of the issue, because my theme could potentially get quite broad and you could get quite carried away, and there's lots of sort of side avenues you could take you down, and then it would just get a little bit unmanageable. So the data action story was really good for helping to kind of really, nail down and pinpoint what it is that we want to achieve, how we're going to do that and why. Well, the first part of the job was gathering all the kind of data really. So that involved working with colleagues in HR to get data on people's mileage claims, so we could look at those, see what teams and what directorates are clocking up the most miles. And then the second part, which I'm working with GIS colleague Amy on, is looking at mapping where people live. So there's the gathering the data on people's home postcodes, what directorate and things they are, and then mapping that so we can actually see visually where people who work for Monmouthshire live, where the clusters are, where the high mileage users are. I think quite often in the public sector we don't have time to actually, and the space to think deeply about something, to really understand causes and data requirements and what you need to do, what's the best way to kind of tackle an issue. Often things are so rushed, we just kind of charge in and do something. So it was really good to have that space to be able to think more deeply about the challenges and how we could go about addressing them, and to do that in a collaborative way. Infuse has been great because I feel like I've got a whole new network of contacts who I can go to about different ideas, and it's just been really good to have that time and that space to think more carefully, learn new techniques and learn new skills that hopefully will help me to do my job better going forwards.